Hey, it's the Big Canucker. Today we're having a look at the Maximum 10-inch wet dry sharpener. What a fantastic machine. Stick around for that. And also don't forget to look at part two where I actually use it and I sharpen a knife. I gotta tell you, I'm a damn good sharpener. Hey, good morning, everyday care people and knife nerds. It's your boy, the Big Canucker here. And today we're gonna have a look at something that I have been trying to get a hold of for quite some time. That is the Maximum 10-inch wet dry sharpener. Very, very reminiscent of the Tormek system for sharpening. Comes with a 10-inch wheel here. Let's see if we can get this gimbal happening. I do apologize here. I'm not a super cameraman, but I'm trying. All right. So it comes with a 10-inch wheel here that is graded out of the factory for around, I think around 240 grit. Now, if you have a look at the Tormek system, it comes with a grading stone, and you can actually change the grit of this with that grading stone anywhere between 200 and 1,000. Now, this stone here is probably not the same quality as the Tormek stone, but it is able to change the grit. Now, I've got a Norton India stone that I kind of used to mess around with this, and it did do a good job, but it's starting to gouge my India Norton stones. So I'm going to end up probably getting some inexpensive 1,000 grit stones and an inexpensive 200 grit Canadian Tire Specials so I can rough up, and that's what I'm going to be using going forward. Now, this is a 1.6 amp machine. Now, I think the Tormek is 2 amp, but you're not going to have to really worry about power with this particular machine. Where you're going to, I think, lose a little bit is the fine tune adjustments and how well actually everything fits together. I mean, this you can put some Tormek stones on here, so you do have the opportunity to put, say, the Tormek uh, Japanese stone on there, so you can get some really quite shiny edges. But let's just continue on here talking about this particular stone here, this particular machine here itself. Okay, so let's go here. So now, oh my goodness, here we go. All right, so now of course you're going to have yourself a manual, and you're also going to have yourself a grading um, tool here too as well. Now I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. I'm not 100% sure if this is actually, these edges are, per side, or if it's, 40 degrees is, 20 degrees on each side. So I am going to do a little bit of investigation to bring that, forward. So now, if you have a look here, on this side, you've got yourself a leather stropping wheel, and it also comes with some compound here too as well. Now, the leather stropping wheel is, I mean, it definitely looks like it's some nice leather. Now, what I ended up doing is I treated this leather with a little bit of mineral oil, and then I put the compound on there. And I did notice when I was actually trying to strop some of the knives that I had tried in my kind of testing, that it was pulling a lot of the fibers off. So I think there's a little bit of a break-in period with that off the beginning. Now, I don't necessarily think that this stropping wheel here, because sometimes you've got stropping media, leather, felt, diamond spray, rouge, a lot of those things. A lot of times those can bring an edge back and they can actually sharpen a little bit. Now, it seems to me that this compound here and this setup is designed more to pull the burr off than it is to do any sort of sharpening. So if you had a little bit of a dull edge and you want to bring it back, I don't know if this particular system right now will bring that edge back to, sharp. It looks like it does a good job pulling off the burr, but it doesn't look like it does a good job kind of shining up that edge. So once I get more versed with this machine, I might decide to try different compounds and put some rouge on there to see if I can make this polish a little bit nicer, a little bit better than what can be done with just the leather and the compound on its own. Now, if you have a look here, all right. this is what it actually came with. So now it comes with this bar, and now you've got this here, this little jig here. So now this jig is not designed to fit a knife. So if you get this system right off the bat, you're not going to be able to do knives unless you decide that you want to freehand it. But you aren't going to be able to sharpen knives just with the system and the jig itself, because this is actually designed for chisels. And I guess it does a great job with the chisel. So now what I ended up doing is I ended up spending a little bit more money uh, with and getting some Wen clamps too as well, because this here is a Mastercraft product, but I also think it's whoever makes it also makes the Wen system too as well. So I think they're identical, other than the colors on it. So what I ended up doing here is I went and I got the Wen clamp system. So you're going to have yourself the large clamp here. You're going to come with this is a little bit of tape for my blades. So you're going to have a scissors jig here. You're going to have kind of a tool rest to go along with your scissors jig. You're going to have a small knife clamp, and then you're going to have yourself an axe clamp. So it looks, so with this Wen system, it looks like you're going to be able to do just about everything you can want to sharpen with a system like this. Now, with a system like this, you're going to be able to do, let's see here. You're going to be able to do chisels, knives, scissors. If you're a wood turner, you're going to be able to do gouges, things like that. Now, with this particular Wen setup, you may not have the ability to do the gouges right off the bat. There are other jigs that you can get from Tormac and Wen, but I am not a wood turner, so I don't have any gouges per se to sharpen up. I've got some woodworking tools that I eventually would like to sharpen up, but hey, I'm just going to get myself learned in this machine and do a little bit of sharpening. So I have done a couple of test sharpens on here, and I am going to do some more. I've got some of my regular knives here that I'd like to sharpen up. Now, but this particular one here, as you can see here, it's got that heel on it. This is a carving knife, so I'm not too concerned about kind of getting that heel down, because if it's just completely flat against the cutting board, that heel is going to prevent from cutting completely. So all right, so let's go back into this machine here a little bit. All right, so now this is a worm drive, not a this is a worm drive gear system. So if you have a look on top here, if you open that up, you were to see some worm drives. It looks like it's put together quite well. It does have the reversible, so it'll go forward and backwards. So it's got some versatility. Now, I would think that once I was going to be sharpening, I normally would want to sharpen um, with this at a quite a bit lower angle. So when I get my office set up to where I want it to be, I'm going to be taking this and I'm going to be sharpening quite a bit lower, and I'll be using the tool rest on the vertical rather than the horizontal. But for now, because it's setting up so high and I want to do kind of a test sharpen, I do want to, I'll sharpen this way. So looks like this is a really quite a nice machine. Its normal price is $399 at Canadian Tire. I managed to get it on sale for $179. So do I think it's worth it? So far, it's done my kitchen knives very, very well. At the $300 or the $400 price, I think that you're kind of, if you're going to spend that money, spend a little bit extra and get the Tormex system. But for $179 plus this the Wen tool rest for $94, I think that you're in pretty good range to have a small sharpening business, or sharpen all your implements that you have throughout your entire house. All right, so let us. So that's kind of an introduction to this Maximum, sharpener. I do appreciate you guys for stopping by and having a look. Now, if you like what you saw here, please give me a thumbs up as well as a subscription. Appreciate it so much. Now, I want you to stay safe. I want you to keep your stick on the ice. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.